Hey, just a quick content warning. This is a video about Prey. It'll discuss and partially show fictional CG animals which are dead, hurt, or being hurt. Nothing too graphic, nothing real, but I want to make that clear going in. How do you kill an alien? This is the main question we, the audience, and Naru, our protagonist, are presented with in the film Prey. It isn't the only question, there are many others, some more related, some less, but it is the main one, and I think the most interesting. We will get to it, we will attempt to answer it in all its senses, but just to start with, I'd like to pose a question in response. How do you kill a rabbit? Or a pack of them, a particularly agile pack, say. You've only got a tomahawk, and you've missed your first throw. From that point on, all the time and noise it takes to retrieve your weapon and throw it again allows the rabbits to scatter. What can you do to break that loop, to get those rabbits? Well, something has to change. You have to change something. Change the parameters. You can't slow the rabbits down, but maybe you can speed yourself up. You tie a rope to your tomahawk. The time it takes you to reset has decreased. The loop is broken. You get the rabbits, and this happens because you adapted your tool, or even more simply, because you adapted. Adapting like this isn't necessarily something everyone can do, but Naru isn't just anyone. She's bright. We see this all throughout the film, but especially around the start. She's able to spot a way to beat the cougar, even if outside factors end up scuppering things a little. In the bog, she's able to mentally reframe her situation, able to see a Geo-Wizard-esque death as a puzzle, and her newly adapted tool as the missing piece. Before even this, she's tracking a bird with her brother, and what seems like hesitation or a lack of focus on her end is really forethought.
I was waiting for it to circle back. Now you're gonna have to cross the river to get it.
As her brother later puts it,
you can see what I miss. You always have.
Not everyone has the perception necessary to instantly adapt, but Naru does. And fine, I hear you say, that's all well and good. But how do you kill an alien? The familiar flow of Comanche life is first broken when Naru stumbles across strange signs in the forest, signs that unfamiliar dangers loom somewhere over the horizon. We don't see any of those dangers, really see them for a little while, and so the first time we do is all the more menacing. Immediately after we see that scene of unnatural decomposition, we're shown another, but of course, this rot was inflicted by a different invasive species. How do you kill an alien? Well, which one are you talking about? Naru is soon captured by a group of French trappers, the beings responsible for the majority of the disruptions we'd seen so far, the traps that now litter the landscape that injured Naru's dog, and of course, the slaughter of the buffalo. Her hunt then has brought her face to face with another invasive alien force, one scarcely less threatening than the extraterrestrial. Do you have any chance at either returning to her hunt or simply returning home? This threat must be thwarted. When Naru comes to, she sees her brother is a captive here also. This isn't a random act of cruelty though. It becomes clear that these two are to be used as bait. These aliens are aware of that alien already. They attempt this plan the next day, one set of hunters using a second set to hunt another. But the plan doesn't work. During the slaughter, Naru hatches a plan to escape. They're tied up next to one of those hulking metal traps, the kind the Comanche are now all too familiar with. Inspired by a memory of a trapped beaver that gnawed off its own leg 127 hours style to free itself from certain death, Naru brings the trap to their bound wrists and triggers it with a rock. She'd seen these traps before, figured out how they worked. She'd adapted to her changing environment, an adaptation that plays limb-retainy dividends, and one which the film highlights.
What are you doing, Naru? Naru, stop!
I'm smarter than a beaver.
Her present enemies, the trappers, have not. In a way, this failing was hinted at even before we'd seen a single Frenchman on screen. We're alerted to their presence by a field of dead buffalo, after all. The hunting we'd seen before this point was small scale. It was hunting to subsist, not to profit. The contrast is intentional. We're supposed to see this as cruel, wasteful, reckless, and it was. Historically, buffalo hide and tongue became a valuable commodity within the colonial economy, but unlike indigenous buffalo hunting practices, where hunters only took what was needed, using the entirety of the animal, European hunters killed the beasts en masse, skinned them, took their tongues, and left their carcasses, meat and all, to rot in their dozens or in their hundreds. Before too long, buffalo numbers had dwindled. The colonial buffalo trade had devoured itself. This collapse happened well after the time at which prey is set, of course, but within the film, the symbol is clear. These trappers aren't the type to know when to stop, to adjust, to adapt, and of course, they don't. After the trap is sprung, the Frenchmen approach the beast, celebrate prematurely, but it isn't for no reason. The leg is pinned, the net is thrown. Their standard operating procedure has been completed. If this were a familiar target, that would have been enough. But it isn't. That complacency sees them killed, and that's interesting to me. It points to the reason that a Comanche huntress can beat a camp of firearm-bearing Frenchmen, as well as a creature seemingly more advanced than even them. Maybe advancement isn't simply a matter of technology. Maybe it's relative. The thing that characterizes Naru's enemies in this film is the way she adapts while they don't. That's the reason Naru can beat the trappers, can free herself, can get the drop on them. That's how she kills this alien. Adaptation. That is key in Prey, and I'm not just talking about the story. How do you kill franchise fatigue? Prey is the 5th film in the Predator franchise, not counting crossovers, but you wouldn't know that. Following the hit 1987 original, intermittent attempts to recapture that success have been, well, a mixed bag. At best, these latter-day installments have been just about successful critically and commercially, with most either bombing, being panned, or both. At the risk of oversimplifying things and drawing the ire of the 7 Predator superfans watching this video, you can almost sense a sort of troubleshooting impulse playing out behind this shaky chain of sequels. Familiar plot structures, character types, setting types are shuffled in and out. Try the jungle setting again, try the paramilitary cadre again, try same style, different setting, try it out but with more predators. What if the template plays out again but it isn't on Earth? What if it is on Earth but the hunt isn't limited to a jungle, urban or otherwise? Eventually, surely, some blend of familiar elements and new touches will work. The patient audience will be rewarded. It'll be predatoring time once again, right? Right? Rotten Tomatoes' summary of the critical response to the last of these pre-Prey efforts, 2018's The Predator, ends by describing the film as, quote, another missed opportunity for a franchise increasingly defined by disappointment. Shortly after the film flopped, star Boyd Holbrook seemed to give voice to the suspicion of many in the audience, telling The Hollywood Reporter, I just think the first one caught lightning in a bottle, and with people wanting to do more, maybe you should just let a sleeping dog lie sometimes. It's worth noting that the film which prompted these thoughts disagreed with them. Certain background elements in The Predator were placed with the intention of setting up another potential Alien vs Predator project, of rebooting a crossover, and significantly more of this stuff was in the film before the final cut. Predator had become a property buckling under its own weight, mired in its own mythology, in franchise bloat. At one point, in an increasingly distant past, sure, there had been lightning, there had been a bottle, but by 2018, both were little more than a memory. Prey was in development at this point. Work had started on the film a year or two before The Predator had crashed and burned, but it was another 3 years before initial photography began, time enough for lessons to be learned and applied. Prey adapted to these decades of franchise failure by throwing out the franchise and keeping just the idea, the conceit, the X-factor that turned a, let's be honest, fairly unremarkable action blockbuster into an enduring, terrifying myth. There are Easter eggs here, but they're precisely that. Easter eggs. Little background details that make you smile if you're in the know. But no cameos, no setup, nothing. Lose all that, Prey says. Lose the trappings of Predator, lose the lore, lose the characters, lose any real hint of connection to a larger whole. Lose the bottle, lose everything but the lightning, and maybe, just maybe, you can capture it again. Maybe you can kill that new, unfamiliar beast stalking every major Hollywood studio. Maybe that's how you kill the alien of franchise fatigue. Maybe that's not the only alien you can kill this way. Okay, one last time. How do you kill an alien? No more metaphor. How do you kill this alien? The extraterrestrial one, the Predator? Well, you don't just fight it. That's the first thing Naru learns. Unlike the trappers, though, she keeps learning. By their final showdown, she's observed that it only goes for threats, that it sees heat, that its most deadly weapon is directed via its detachable helmet, and she uses all of this. She baits with that last surviving Frenchman, lays a trap, but makes sure to plant a weapon on him, and to pop some of that core temperature reducing plant. While the creature is distracted, she uses a gun, the gun she had presciently traded medicine for, to shoot off that helmet, and the fight that follows is little more than a sequence of remembered, adapted moves. She'd seen the strength of the beast's tools in the trapper attack, so she switches to one at her earliest opportunity. She remembered the effectiveness of the bite when pinned move from her scuffle with the hunting party earlier, and adapts that idea to these different circumstances. She brings the bog back, sets the ambush on familiar ground. If it trapped her, chances are it would slow him down, for a time at least. And she gets him into the bog with that first, now familiar adaptation, the roped tomahawk, but nothing could be clearer than the coup de grace. So maybe advancement is relative. Maybe it's not a measure of what tools you have, what tools your society has furnished you with, and instead it's a measure of what you do with those tools, how you respond to a changing environment, and what new tools you create. After defeating this alien, Naru returns to her camp. Her brother is dead, her fellow hunters too. There's a deep sadness to this scene, but it's counterbalanced by an equally deep sense of triumph. Naru has completed her Katumiya, and done so in probably the deadliest hunt in history. She has proved everyone wrong, and they see this instantly. In a moment of supreme catharsis, her tribe recognizes this by naming her war chief, which is big. Indigenous American gender roles varied greatly. Some peoples, like the Hopi, were and are strikingly egalitarian, but in Comanche culture, men were traditionally the hunters, the war chiefs. But despite what some viewers have contended, I don't think Naru's ascendance here is an instance of liberal universalizing, of simply rewriting history to fall in line with girl boss ideals. Because, well, to take the film's resolution this way is to ignore the rest of the film, because Prey is about adaptation. That is how you kill aliens. That is how you survive in a changing world. And the world of these people had been a changing one since well before Naru began her hunt. We could get into the ramifications of colonialism, land theft, all that nasty stuff, but we all know about that by now, right? So let's get specific and focus instead on one symbol the film gives us of this change: horses. After escaping from the trappers, Naru and Taabe split up. Naru goes to retrieve her fluffy little chonka, her heckin' good boy doggo, and Taabe heads off on a different animal retrieval mission.
I gotta go get us those horses.
Early drafts of Prey's script didn't have this moment. Jane Myers, one of the film's producers and a member of the Comanche Nation herself, changed this, saying, "You can't have Comanches without horses." Despite being a European import, horses were pretty quickly identified as the ideal furry friend of any nomadic tribe, and many indigenous peoples integrated the animals into their cultures with gusto. The Comanche were among the first to do this. Today, they have the longest documented existence as horse-mounted plains peoples, and by all accounts, smart move. This transition to horse culture allowed the Comanche to travel, hunt, and resist settler encroachment in a far more effective manner. Taabe returns with the horse in a crucial moment, saving Naru from the predator. He wounds the creature, knocking off its helmet, showing Naru the tool she'd ultimately used to beat the monster, all thanks to his riding prowess. It's a really cool moment, giving Taabe one glorious Aristeia before he falls victim to the alien. But it's more than this too. It's also the film highlighting the changeability of Naru's people. Her advancement, her adaptability didn't come from nowhere, and neither does the tribe's willingness to bend gender roles, to rally behind her at the film's close. Because what's important here? What makes a society advanced enough to resist invasion, to kill aliens, whichever aliens they may be, isn't simply technological advancement, establishing ways. It's knowing when established ways need to bend, need to grow. Naru can kill aliens because she can adapt, she can roll with the punches. By the time of the film, that rolling with the punches has become a necessity for the Comanche. But don't forget, says Prey, you can punch back. Prey is about killing aliens. Prey is about adaptation. Prey is about realizing advancement is relative, and that the boundaries of knowledge and ability can always be changed. Those three statements are the same statement, because everything is an alien to begin with. All alien means is unfamiliar, foreign. Once you figure it out, it stops being an alien, becomes, in this case, a predator, predictable and exploitable like any other. In a symbolic sense, every alien is killed the moment it becomes known, the moment it is figured out, the moment those in contact with it adapt. So every alien can be killed. Every hunter, every invasive foreign tribe, every new exploitative system. Prey is about killing aliens, but it isn't just about killing aliens. Naru doesn't hunt the predator simply to kill it, just like she doesn't hunt rabbits for fun. She does it to complete her katamiya, to become accepted as a hunter, to change her life and to change her society. There are still aliens to kill, there always will be, but as long as we stay open, stay receptive to new facts, new ideas, new views, and new voices, as long as we stop before the buffalo run out, we can beat them, we can fix our lives and our societies. All we have to do is change. It's that easy. It's that hard. Thank you for watching. I had a really great time revisiting this film for this video, and I think the video turned out alright, so, you know, chuck any thoughts you have down below, and chuck any spare chang at me on Patreon. I'd like to thank all of my current supporters on screen now. It's thanks to this growing base of backers that I feel confident taking a bit more of my time to write a video like this. And special shoutouts to Daniel Goldhorn, Ryan Emily, Thomas R, and Weirdy Beardy. Ciao.